slows down nice. Keeping a little bit of up elevator pressure. We are out here at the field, guys. I am going to show you, I know I had talked about it, I mentioned it in my last video, and I thought, you know, I'll just take the time and show you how to program ESCs on this really quick. We already did the range test, so the range test is done. What we're going to do at this point is you turn your transmitter on. We are going to make sure that we identify the right model, which is going to be our C-47. Once your radio is booted up and good to go, we're going to take it, we're going to go up to full throttle. We'll place that down here. And this thing's unplugged. You'll hear it beep. You'll hear it beep, beep, and then go down. So you got 3 beeps, which is going to be 3 cells. The last beep to confirm that everything is set up and ready to go. You can see where I have my 3-cell 2200 milliamp battery positioned, and I put a line right there and mark it off as 2200. So I'll show you what else I do in order to work with balancing. And as I said, range test on this was already done and good. Nice positive latch on the lid. And to check balance on a lot of these models, I'll just install those little white felt pads. So that way I know I have a fingertip reference. And a lot of the manufacturers now with models, I know Motion does it with a lot of their stuff, they're starting to mold in those CG marks, which is good, but it's not in everything. Then we're just going to hold it on that foam, and you can see there that we're nicely balanced. So let's get this thing up in the air and see how it handles. All right, guys, here we go. This is going to be our maiden flight of the C-47 Skytrain from Bitgo Hobby and Dynam. This is its first flight. We're balanced, our ESCs are synced and programmed, and we're ready to go for a flight. Our timer's set for 5 minutes, and we're gonna give this thing a shot and see what happens. All right, guys, going up, right to left. Liftoff is really quick. Thing's pretty trim right out of the gate. Gain a little altitude with it. Little down trim is needed. It's a little noisy up there. You could hear those dual props going. We're about 3/4 throttle right here. Just making some easy laps to start. See what approach would be like. That's into our headwind right there. Full power seems to climb a little bit, which most models will. About a half throttle pass. It's a very, if I wanted to say scale speed, a little noisier than a single prop plane, but scale speed is good. It's not like overly fast. It turns into the corners well. I would think if you get too slow with this, the way it feels, even as light as this plane is, if you turn it and bank it too hard under power, it might spiral on you. But otherwise, I mean, it's not bad. We'll take it up here a little bit and we'll give it some power. We'll roll it. Full aileron roll. It takes a while to get those things around. So that was to the right. We'll bring it back around again in the same direction. Still about 3/4 throttle. We'll go in the same direction. And we'll go to the left and see how that does. Full throttle. Left. So it has a little bit of an altitude loss there. It's not bad. This isn't a super big 3D plane. We'll bring it by for a pass. You guys can check this thing out. Slows down nice. Keeping a little bit of up elevator pressure with it. Wonder what inverted is like. I don't know if this is a plane you want to fly inverted. It gets a little washy there. Probably up high enough. It just, this thing has some dihedral to the wings, so when it's inverted, it doesn't like it a lot. Gain a little bit more altitude, and we'll try it again. So it'll do inverted. It's not bad. You just want to be power. You want to be in the power when you go to do your inverts. Let's get some loops in here and see how this thing handles. Again, timer on this was set for 9 minutes. Most of this flight is 1/2 to 3/4 throttle. Power to gain some altitude up here. We'll give it a loop. Loops really easy. Down out of it. Full power, up into a roll. So you're not going to get aerobatic like this like we did with the Aero Scout last week, but it's nice. It's a nice little casual flyer, and it's so light, it took off so easy. And it's not really windy today. I don't know if this is a plane that would handle wind really well, but nice gentle flyer. We'll see if we can get it by on a low speed pass. There are no flaps on this either. A little bit of rudder in the turn there to get the nose worked around first. About a quarter, giving it some up elevator, power to get out. So right and left, I like the way it handles better than the PT-17 from Dynam. The PT-17 with those dual wings and single ailerons took a while to roll, and one way was better than the other. This is little up elevator right there, or down elevator as you go through the roll. This thing handles really well in both directions of that roll. So let's go ahead and try a landing here. We're going to bring it around and we're going to shoot. Now this driveway here I'm flying off of is literally a driveway, and it is only 5 feet wide. So we're going to test some piloting skills here if we can get it. So if we're in the grass, we're sorry. And we got to avoid them trees down there. Doinked it off the edge. So there you have it, guys. There is this grass here is pretty thick, by the way, so it's not going to go in this stuff. But there you have our Maiden. So let's get into our wrap-up. All right, guys, there you have it. That was our maiden flight on the Dynam C47 from Bitgo Hobbies. This thing, again, on some of the details to wrap this up, this thing has dual counter-rotating. Now, this is version 2. This is counter-rotating Outrunner 1100 motors running on 30 amp ESCs. I did see that typo on the box, but they are indeed 30 amp ESCs, 2 of them. This thing has a wingspan of roughly 58 inches, so I believe it was a 1470 millimeter plane. This thing is flying on a 3-cell 2.2, all right, so 2200 milliamp pack. Good power on takeoff. It's light, it gets off the ground quick. It flew pretty well at 1/2 to 3/4 throttle, really. Was pretty stable on the build right out of the gate, so I think we did a good job getting that thing together. We flew this thing for 5 minutes on the timer, so let's go ahead and pull off this canopy, and we are going to see what our battery is left at. We'll go ahead and unplug the power. And we're going to check our cells here. I love these little battery checkers. It's always good to cut your first flight a little short. So guys, we're at 46% left. at 384. So if we get this thing down another 17%, I think you can easily fly this plane at least 7 minutes. I think 7 minutes would be a nice safe timer on this battery. And again, we might go with a little bit bigger battery on this if we're going to put our paratroopers and servo in the back. So that's going to be our next mod, I think, that we have coming up. Now, this on the version 2, I'm not super familiar with version 1, but I know a couple of you guys had made comments to me as I started posting some media about this, about the tail wheel and the elevator. The elevator was solid linkage going all the way back through with a rod, and the tail wheel on this seemed to be pretty solid as we look around. So I had no issues there with that tail wheel setup. And again, that's what our elevator setup looks like. That little push rod there in the tail, that little sleeve, that thing was in there nice and tight. Again, you can take it off if you want. This thing is detachable there with the wing bolt, but super light, pretty cool little plane. You can drag it along with you. Don't need a lot of runway. Here out of my own yard, the grass is pretty thick, so we're not going to fly out of there, but it's pretty good flying stuff off the neighbor's driveway, because you could see there we got quite the field there to fly over. So, but there you have it. Thank you, Bitgo Hobby, for giving me the opportunity to review the C-47 for you guys and for Dynam. I definitely appreciate that. And again, guys, it's Brendan here at Just Plain Crazy. I know all of you watching are also Just Plain Crazy. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, smash that like button. It helps us out a lot. If you didn't like it, I always tell you, make sure you hit that unlike button twice for me. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Don't forget, in the description, you can pick yourself up some Just Plain Crazy gear. It always helps to support the channel. But with that being said, I wish you guys happy flights. Check out Bitgo Hobby for any of these cool Dynam planes. I appreciate you watching. Peace out.